Welcome everybody. Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm a real estate agent in Jamaica, and thank you so much for opening this video. So in this video, I'm doing a wrap up, and I'm going to wrap up and summarize the things that I learned from having her in my life. So sit back, let's go. Number one, firstly, she taught me to read, which was a key for me. Reading, very important. Cannot overlook reading, ladies and gentlemen. So when you have your children, I want you to spend every effort, 150% effort, to get them reading. That's what I did with my two daughters. The first thing I did when they hit age 2 was started teaching them how to read. Because if they can read, they can conquer just about anything. All right? Number 2, she developed my love for books. Everything that you need to know is in a book. And as you continue to listen to my step-by-step video series, I'm going to recommend some books. I'm going to tell you the books that I also learned from. And you can get those books and you can study them yourself. Because, ladies and gentlemen, everything you need to know in one book. Third thing my mother taught me, she helped train my memory. So she kept giving me this list for the market and for other things that she needed to get done. She said, Claudia, remember this. Claudia, remember this. So she trained my memory. I have an excellent memory because of my mom. As I get older though, maybe some things I'll forget. But guess what? My children are also trained to have excellent memory. So I can rely on their memory. You know, I said, Tony, who's that client again? And boom, she just, yes, mom, that's so-and-so from so-and-so. You know, you sold him something so-and-so. Train your children because they're going to be your backup when the time comes. All right? She also taught my brother and I to love our own company. We never needed any extra people around us. We never needed children in the yard or down the road or anything like that. Because we learned to enjoy our own company. We learned how to entertain ourselves. My brother and I, we could draw, we could color, we could write, we could play a puzzle game and all kind of things we did, you know. And that was because we only had each other. Our mother never allowed us to walk up and down the road like stray. Things that you love, you want to protect, right? You don't want to leave your children walking from here to there. My mother used to say, she unsure anything can happen between her yard and the shop. And people ask her, why you not send Claudia go to shop? Why you not send your son go shop? She said, no, anything can happen between our yard and the shop. At least when I'm in the house, them safe enough. So we weren't allowed to stand at the gate. No. Play on the road. No. And my children, same thing. If you love your children, anything you love, you make sure that you do everything to protect. So my mother was very protective. All right? She also ensured that we showed up. We had to show up no matter what. So for school, we always had to show up. When my father come home late with us or whatever, don't matter till the next morning we not get up to go to school. We go into school. No matter what time him turn up, 12, 1 o'clock at night, by 5 o'clock we had to be on that bus. And my mother ensured that we went to school, right? She also did something key for me, you know. She insisted that I speak the Queen's English, she used to call it. Claudia, speak the Queen's English. So from an early age, I realized that there were 2 languages in Jamaica, the English language and the Jamaican language. So I got the opportunity to move between both languages, not only to read it in my books, but to also speak it. And for my own children, when they were growing up, I ensured, you know, I said, listen, speak the English language. You must know how to speak both languages. So when they would say something in the Jamaican language, I said, okay, tell me now in the English language. And Jamaicans, I want you to practice that with your children. Don't tell them that them talking bad, which is what a lot of you do. I want you to say to them, okay, you have now said that in the Jamaican language. Let us hear it in the English language. And reading aloud helps them. Reading aloud helps them to speak the English language because they're now listening to the language in their own voice. My mother was a decision maker. She made decisions. If things wasn't going her way, she gonna make the decision. Just like when gunmen came in on us, she knew she had to bolt and went to Independence City. When my father started with all of the problems and whatever, she knew she had to make a decision again. So even though our ducks never line up and she never went nowhere yet and whatever, she knew she had to go. Some of you sit around in situations way too long, and it stifles your progress. It keeps you stunted, I call it. You know, you know when water's stagnant, you know what happened to it, right? It starts to smell foul, and it is no good. Life cannot grow in it. So you have to keep moving, ladies and gentlemen. Don't sit around. I'm 54 years old, and I think I've moved 22 times. And you'll hear me tell you another story of all moving up and down all over the place. Well, when I was young, I did a lot of moving, so I guess that is one of the influences it have on me. I can't really live anywhere for too long. I get bored and I just want to get moving. Right now, I want to get moving from where I am. Now, she also taught me the importance of schoolwork and homework. Very, very important. Parents, schoolwork and homework is not something that you should allow your children to get away with not doing. It is important. It solidifies discipline. In other words, a discipline to do something that you don't want to do or something that you don't like to do, right? But in developing that habit of schoolwork and homework, when they get into the workplace or they get into their own family situation, these are some of the values that can be passed on to their children. My mother never allowed us to get away with not doing our homework or not doing our schoolwork. We had to do every single thing. She checked that book. She was looking for the ticky. And I got big, I realized she was looking for the ticks. You know what I mean? That's what she was looking for, really, because she couldn't read. But her involvement made it much better for me because I wanted to come home and show her how much tick I get in my book, right? So we were accountable for every moment of our day. That's another thing that is happening to a lot of you, where you're not moving forward. You have 24 hours to the day, just like everybody else. Everybody in this world have 24 hours, including you and I. They tell us that we must get 8 hours of sleep. But what are you doing with the other 16 hours? You may say, okay, yes, Miss Davis, I go to work for 8 hours. What happened to the other 8 hours? Are you traveling for 8 hours? What are you doing for the other 8 hours? I know some of you sit and watch the news for 2 hours. So that's 2 hours out of your day, boom, just like that. You could be reading a book. Not saying you must watch the news, but do you need to watch it for 2 hours? You could be getting an entire university degree with 2 hours every day. You could be learning something. So think about that 8 hours that you're not at your job and you're not sleeping. What are you doing with those 8 hours? You must be accountable for your time, right? No, she also taught me never to give up. She taught me this indirectly. Not to give up my ability to earn. How she taught me that indirectly? When my mother had us, she was still doing her hairdressing when she was in Jonestown. But when she moved to Trenchtown or moved to Independence City and then we had to move back into Jonestown, she had stopped doing her hairdressing. Now, by this time when she stopped, she used to do press and curl. And by the time she stopped that, it changed to creamier. She couldn't get back into that field because she had stopped learning her hairdressing. She never wasn't in the field anymore. Never go back to school to learn the creamier. By this time, she was over in her 50s. So it was just a challenge for her. So what she did, she went and she got a job in a shoe store. Because, of course, my father wasn't supporting us the way he should have. So I've learned indirectly from her never to give up my earning ability, to keep learning. And I've also learned that the more I learn is the more I earn. People, I kid you not. The more you know is the more money you're going to make. So the more you learn is the more you earn. That is key. And I've also learned that the more money I make is the more me need to learn. So you see the irony of it? The more I earn is the more I have to learn. So you can't stop. It just goes on and on. You cannot stop learning. You have to stay in the game. You have to keep learning. No matter what job you're in or what field or profession, what skill, you have to learn the new things. I'm into construction now. And I used to remember the drill. Maybe I use this key for open the chuck. And I tell me couldn't stand it. And I go, the hunt for thing that I said to the guy, I said, you having a drill by any chance when I use key? The man said, yeah, man. And the man showed me a drill and I just push down the chuck, push in the drill bit, and boom, it lock. There you go. The more money me make, the more me have to learn. All right, so what else? Your friends will influence the direction that you go. So if it is you want to learn to drive a car, people, you can't hang out with people who ride bicycle. No, you're not going to drive car that way there. You have to hang out with people who drive in car. When I learned to drive, I was renting a place from this man, and he paid for his daughter to get driving lessons. So you know, so when she going with fair instructor, I said to the instructor, I can't come with you, no? Him say, yes, ma'am. I say, how much? Him say, $20. I say, I have 10, you know? Him say, come, man. And that's how me learn to drive. You understand? You can't hang out with people who ride bicycle if you want to learn to drive. No. And if you want to buy a house, all your friend them can't own rent house. They have to own house. So that you can ask them, so how you do this? How you do that? You know, you're moving in the direction where you want to go. Because your friends influence you. So you have to be careful too of the type of friends that you have surrounding you. All right? I also learned that, I think I told you this one already. Everywhere I go, I must carry my own children. Everywhere I go. So if I'm going to migrate and go foreign, I cannot leave my children here behind. Because for one thing, by the time I come back 10 years later, them don't even know me. You cannot parent from a distance. So those of you thinking of lifting off right now, I said the visa lines are long. You know, I'm not going to tell you don't go. But the truth is, I believe if my mother had stayed, she would have been better off. The truth is, you're going to go to a foreign country, and you're going to do the same thing that you would have done in your own country. You're going to work. You're going to have some children. You'll get to a man. You might married. You might not married. You're going to get your heart broken. Maybe more than once. Like myself, more than once. And then you're going to buy one house, one car. And then that's it. You're going to retire. You can't do that in any country. One house, have some children. Any country. You just have to know and seek the opportunities that are in the country that you're in. And you hear me tell you the story that my mother always go downtown. But maybe if she did go uptown one at a time, she would have found different opportunities, different friends, different people. And it would have been different for her. Now, we have to understand that everything expires. Yes, everything expires. Everything have an expiration date, including me. Which is why I'm trying to do these videos. Because I know at some point I'm going to expire. And I want my children and my grandchildren to have something, some record, some path that they can follow. I don't want them to drop in the same path or footsteps that my mother, my father, me even fall into. No, we can avoid some of them. Learn from other persons, right? We all have an expiration. I think my mother never realized that she had her expiration was near. When my mother came back when I was 27, right? My mother was already in her 60s. I think she would have been about 65. She born 1924, so you can't do the maths. So she would have been at retirement age. But she insisted on getting my brother and myself this green card in the States. She insisted. So she went back. Even though I pleaded with her not to go back, because when she came, I realized she was taking a lot of tablets, and she had already had a stroke in 1989 when I was buying my first house. My mother had already gotten a stroke at that time, and she still insisted to go back. She went back, but that was the last time I saw her. Because, well, the last time I saw her alive, because remember I told you I saw her in my dream. That was the last time I saw her alive. And she went back and she died 3 years later. So she was 70 when she died. So she was about 67 when she had when she came and visited. And she died at the age of 70. Now, she did live a full life, but she lived a part of her life not having her children around. I think it makes a difference when you have your family around. I say I have my children around with me. I'm waiting on my grandchildren to turn up. We feed off each other. We have a bond. So whatever my strengths are and my weaknesses are, they're there to back up my weaknesses, and I'm there to back up their weaknesses. I'm also there to guide, to say, guys, this is not how this must be done, you know. Sometimes I'm listening, sometimes I'm not listening to me. But they're about to learn. Them still have to learn. But at least I'm there, you know, just in case them fall down. We can provide some kind of a buffer, some kind of a rug to make their landing just a little bit softer. There's some pain that we know our children have to go through. We went through it. We can't shield them from everything. No, we can't. But you remember that your family is here to support you. So whatever you do, don't break up your family. Don't break up your family. I see too many Jamaicans, too many blacks breaking up their families by migrating. Migration has hurt us as a people, as a nation. We have lots of young men and young women whose parents have migrated. They have left them. They cannot parent from a distance. Those children no longer know you. They have children and they don't have the support that they need. They don't have any grandmother to show them how to breastfeed, how to change diaper, how to make sure that the baby get the cornmeal porridge to feed the baby. They don't have that. We don't have the grandmothers around to help with discipline of the children and the parents around. You know, parents have to believe in their children in daycare and nursery. No grandmother. I see the other nations, the Chinese, the Indians, even the whites, their grandmothers are around to help take care of the children when they come. It makes a difference. Do not break up your families at all costs. You need to try and keep everybody together. So if you're going to migrate together. Don't go and say you're going to make life and come back. Because that's enough fun to go and make life and still not come back. Some of you go, you don't make no life and you still don't come back. I wonder why. If you don't make the life, why not come home? You know? So I keep saying to come home to Jamaica, because as you can see, I've been through it. My mother migrated and I don't think it helped us. It didn't help me. For sure it didn't help me. There's another thing, major thing that I've learned through this entire experience as well, is that there's something called divine intervention. Somebody coined that word, divine intervention. The power of divine intervention is strong. I see the Creator send my cousin to take me up out of Jonestown and carry me up to our Father, rescue me. And me see when me pregnant at 17, him send my mother here to get green card and them turn her down. And she had to be here for 6 months. That little short 6 months that she was here helped me get back on my feet. She went back and she was able to send us barrel and whatever and help me to strengthen my position, to stabilize myself. And again, in the dream where she came and she put that baby at my foot, singing my name, Claudia, Claudia, I say, only God. As I said, Rachel, I said, Rachel had to be born. There's no way Rachel was not coming here because my mother already brought her and put her down at my feet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for listening to me, and keep listening. I want you to subscribe because the step-by-step video series continues. So in the next set of videos, I speak about my father and what he taught me, whether directly or indirectly. I also want you to do the same exercise I did. I want you to write out the journey, your earliest memories of your mother and your journey with her. And I want you also to write down some of the things that you learned, whether directly or indirectly, from her. And you hit me up in the comment section, right? Because remember, we have to help each other and teach each other. All right, so see you in the next video.